Let's do a deep dive into how invisible dog fences work. If your yard doesn't have a fence, then an invisible dog fence can be a great way for your dog to enjoy your property while keeping them safe. Installing a fence can be expensive, especially if you want it to look nice, and even more so if you have a large yard. Plus, some of us don't want a fenced-in yard in the first place. They can mess with your home's aesthetic and obstruct views. Make sure to check out the video description to see the best way to give your dog the freedom to roam your yard unleashed, and also for any updates to this video should they arise. I can update that description, but this video is set in stone once I publish it. So if you're wondering how invisible dog fences work, you might be wondering if they even work reliably. And there are definitely some that work better than others. You might also be wondering what you're getting into. Will there be a lot of work involved? We'll answer all of that in this video. I've been working with invisible fences of all three types for over 4 years now, and starting this year, I've gone so far as to wear the collars myself and evaluate the systems from a dog's perspective. So I'll share what I've learned from my first-hand experiences in the trenches, but what I can say right off the bat is, generally speaking, yes, invisible fences do indeed work, and you can be up and running with some of them in a matter of minutes. Although no matter which system you choose, you're gonna have to complete boundary training with your dog, which usually takes about 2 to 4 weeks. Now, most of these systems utilize some form of static correction as boundary feedback, or at least they give you the option to, and I just can't advocate using that to train your dog. I've tried quite a few of these collars on my own neck, and in some cases I've tried them several times, and it really, seriously hurts, unless it's at a pretty low intensity. But many dog owners feel it's a worthwhile trade-off to keep their pets safe from bigger dangers, like busy roads for example. And I understand that. So you do you, boo, and I'll stick to my job. The logic behind invisible dog fences is based on the concept of conditioned learning. Now, there are 3 types of invisible dog fences, but how they all work in a nutshell is that your dog wears a collar that speaks with the boundaries that you set via one mechanism or another. When your pet receives a warning signal, such as a sound or a vibration, upon approaching the invisible boundary, they begin to associate that warning with the presence of the boundary. Through consistent training and reinforcement, your pet learns to recognize and respect the invisible boundaries that you set. This conditioned learning trains your pet to stay within the designated safe area and to avoid crossing the boundary. It's important to remember that invisible dog fences should never be used as a substitute for proper training and supervision. These fences are most effective when combined with positive reinforcement training methods. Consistency, patience, and positive reinforcement are key factors in training your pet to understand and respect the invisible boundaries. You also need to supervise your pet regularly to ensure that the fence is functioning properly and that your pet stays safe within the designated boundaries. So now let's move on to the 3 different types of invisible dog fences, and we'll start with the longest standing technology, the in-ground dog fence. In-ground invisible dog fences, also often referred to as electric dog fences, are one of the most popular options available. These systems consist of 3 main components: a boundary wire, a transmitter, and a receiver collar. A great example of in-ground dog fences would be the extreme dog fence, and I'll include a link to it down in the video description. With in-ground fences, the boundary wire is installed underground. It's important to follow the manufacturer's instructions for burying the wire at the recommended depth, as too deep can cause signal interference. Typically, the wire is buried a few inches deep, ensuring it remains protected and undisturbed. Once the boundary is set, the transmitter emits a radio signal through the wire, creating an electromagnetic field. Your pet wears a receiver collar that detects this signal. When your pet approaches the boundary, the receiver collar ideally emits a warning sound or a vibration. This acts as a deterrent, alerting your pet that they're getting too close to the boundary. If your pet continues to move closer, static correction is often delivered through the collar, deterring them from crossing the boundary. Some of the upsides of in-ground invisible dog fences are that they offer a reliable and customizable solution. The boundaries can easily be adjusted to suit the size and shape of your yard. With creative wiring, you can even build in multiple zones, which can be useful for restricting access to certain areas like gardens or swimming pools. In-ground fences are also fairly affordable if you install them yourself, and they're less prone to interference than wireless systems that don't use a GPS. And typically, you can use multiple collars if you have multiple dogs. The downsides to in-ground systems are that they can be very time-consuming to install, unless you have it professionally installed. Of course, that can get expensive quickly. You could, in theory, choose not to bury the boundary wire, but it'll be unsightly and likely even be a tripping hazard. Next, if there are ever any faults in the boundary down the line, that likely means having to dig up the wire and find the break, or again, hiring a professional to do this for you for a fee. And lastly, the feedback zone doesn't continue indefinitely past the boundary. Typically, it's only a certain range on either side of the wire. So next up, let's discuss wireless invisible dog fences. These systems offer a convenient alternative to in-ground fences, as they eliminate the need for burying a wire in the ground. Instead, they use a central transmitter that emits a circular signal, creating a wireless boundary for your pet. The The transmitter is typically placed in a central location within your home or yard. It's important to consider the wireless fence's coverage range to ensure it can effectively encompass your desired area. Most systems allow you to adjust that range to suit your yard's size. A typical example of a wireless dog fence would be the PetSafe wireless pet containment system. It's a product that's been around for years and it's reasonably reliable. I'll leave a link to it in the description as well. Some of the upsides of wireless dog fences are that they are super easy to install. You can be up and running with the PetSafe wireless in a short number of minutes. It's also incredibly easy to change the size of the fence whenever you'd like, which would be an absolute nightmare with an in-ground system. A lot of times they're so easy to set up that they can even be portable. So if you want to take them on a trip or to your family's house or anything like that, they're a pretty good option. They're also quite affordable, and they can usually support multiple collars if you have more than one dog. But there are definitely downsides to consider with wireless dog fences. The most notable being that you're limited to a circular boundary centered on the transmitter. That can be inconvenient based on the shape of your yard, access to electrical outlets, you name it. Wireless dog fences are also quite a bit more susceptible to interference than in-ground systems. Basically how it works is that the collar will issue correction if it loses signal from the transmitter, meaning your dog could get shocked in the safe zone if the signal gets blocked. Typically this would be caused by large metal objects like an appliance, a metal roof, or something like that. And if your neighbor has an in-ground dog fence that runs close to the wireless fence boundary, it may confuse the collar and allow your dog to pass through without any correction. So there are definitely some trade-offs for the convenience of a non-GPS wireless dog fence system. But throw a GPS in the mix and things get taken to a whole new level. So now let's talk about my personal favorite solution, GPS invisible dog fences. These systems utilize Global Positioning System, GPS, technology to create a virtual boundary for your pet. GPS fences are typically contained within a collar that your dog wears, and it's equipped with GPS tracking capabilities. You can make fences using a smartphone, making it incredibly convenient and flexible. You can easily adjust the boundaries or even create multiple fences wherever you go, so it's an ideal solution from a portability standpoint. GPS fences can be set up quickly and they do not require any physical installation. My personal favorite, the SpotOn GPS dog fence, can be set up in under 2 minutes. I've done it, and you can find that video right here on this channel. GPS fences often provide additional features such as real-time tracking, activity monitoring, and integration with pet health apps, allowing you to keep a close eye on your pet's well-being. Now, I've already mentioned some of the upsides, which are the convenience, the customization, and the portability, plus the GPS tracking and all sorts of integrations that become possible once you start using a smartphone app. But there are some downsides to consider. The first is that they're expensive, and a lot of them even require a cell subscription to use them, or at least to unlock the full range of features. That said, when you look at the cost of installing a real fence, or having a professionally installed in-ground fence, a GPS system's not so bad. Next is that not all of them are quite as reliable as the more conventional systems. They definitely get the job done, but even with the SpotOn GPS fence, which is quite reliable, you do need to account for GPS drift over the course of the day as you set your boundaries. As such, GPS fences are really best suited for larger yards. And then the third thing is that the collars are kind of on the bulky side. And because there's so much demand on the collar trying to constantly pinpoint its location, the battery life tends to be more on the order of hours or days than weeks or months like you get with the more traditional systems. But at least the GPS dog fence collars are typically rechargeable. Many of the traditional in-ground and wireless systems use proprietary single-use batteries, which is kind of meh. So that's the 3 different types of invisible dog fences and how they all work. I'll leave a link to the SpotOn GPS dog fence in the video description, and I'll also leave my review of the SpotOn playing right here. If you want to see me test these invisible dog fences from a dog's perspective, which means me wearing the collars and getting shocked time and time again, you can see those videos right here on this channel. Heck, you can even see me eat some dog food. Until next time, dog lovers, keep those tails wagging.